Hey everyone, so this is going to be my first review that I've done as a video, because previously I've done a lot of reviews on this website I write for called theyoungfolks.com, which I want to check out, and I do a lot of reviews on IMDb, which probably no one sees, but I get my opinion out there. But Mr. Christopher Nolan himself got me fired up about his new film Interstellar to do a review. So I'll tell you what I thought of that, and let me tell you, I did not like that movie. You know what? It's hard to talk about this movie, so I'm I I'm not gonna be I'm gonna be honest here. I'm gonna use my piece of paper. I'm gonna go by this because there's so many. Okay, the thing about this movie is there's a lot of very good things in it, but there are so many flaws in this movie that I just could not believe because Nolan actually made all of this. Like, it's an hour too long, first of all, and this is gonna offend people, but I'm being honest with you. There are some movies, they say, like, if someone has a different opinion than you, then you should probably just respect their opinion, even if you don't like the movie. But if you think that this movie is like an intelligent, brilliant masterpiece, I think you're an idiot. I honestly think that. Alright, so let me start off by saying that so as an overview, this movie is really heavy handed with its themes. The pacing is awful. Just awful. Like, it starts off pretty badly. In the beginning of the movie, they have all this stuff about how the Earth is dying to introduce McConaughey and his family. And at first, I thought to myself, okay, the pacing's a bit weird, but it'll get better from here. And it really didn't. And the ending's awful. The ending is it's really bad. You'll see. But I'd probably give this movie, content-wise, 1 star out of 4. But the one thing I will say about this movie is, stylistically, 4 to 4 stars, because whereas the acting and the materials all handled quite badly, I think, and even though Christopher Nolan, I do not like the Dark Knight Rises. Dark Knight Rises. I love the Dark Knight. Don't really like Inception. That's just a personal thing. I just think it's an annoying movie, and I really don't like this. But I love the Dark Knight. Love Batman Begins. Love The Prestige. Still haven't seen Memento. Gotta see Memento. But the thing, at least, about Inception was I don't like the whole mind fucks and all, and that I think it's so brilliant. But it had really good pacing. You meet all the characters in the real world, then you get introduced to, like, the dream world. Then they do the heist, and the pacing's at least good. But the problem here with this movie is that it's a 3-hour movie. They take 35 minutes to develop, pretty much. Yeah, I was looking at my watch, like, most of this movie. They take like 35 minutes to develop Matthew McConaughey and his family, and they have this really, really hard to believe plot thing where just like this anomaly that makes the dust in her room, like the little girl's room, like Matthew McConaughey's daughter's room, fall to the ground and like give them the coordinates of somewhere to go. And I mean, I was kind of willing to go with that, but I was even like, really? That's pretty dumb. And so they go to this place, and they find, by the way, there's going to be some spoilers in here. They go to this place, and they find that it's NASA, which is still operating, because the world is, like, dying, and they're focusing on themselves. So they find out that NASA's there, and Matthew McConaughey, apparently this used to be a scientist, which is pretty hard for me to believe, because someone who talks like this and is a farmer, I don't really believe this is a scientist, but it's a movie. So within 5 minutes, they say, all right, we're going to send you to space on our mission. And that was just too much. I was like, really? You're just going to send him? So then his daughter gets mad at him because he's going to space. And then he just, like, can't make up with her. And then he's in space. And I was like, really? It was just like, there wasn't enough. It was trying to be really emotional here, but it was very jarring because it wasn't like there was a lot of build up to him going to space. Even if they didn't have the whole cliched "let's meet the team" thing, I would have preferred that to him just leaving and suddenly he's in space, and that was just really off-putting to me. And then because of that, you spend 3 hours of characters you do not give a fuck about. Like, I'm sorry, I do like Matthew McConaughey as an actor. I'm not a Matthew McConaughey hater, but I mean, he plays himself a lot of the time, but that works. Here, it wasn't that he was really badly acting. I think it was just the content. But at some points, he's just playing himself, talking like this, doing monologues about why the world is great and why we should save it and why I should go back to my children and all this stuff that's philosophical. But and other times he was like doing that thing where he seemed like he was asking for an Oscar, screaming at the camera, doing all that stuff.
Oh my god, for the audience, it's been 5 minutes. For me, it's been 25 years. Ah, I can cry because I'm an actor. Oh my god.
Yeah, and that was kind of annoying. Okay, but I got off track. The only really great thing I think about this movie is the visuals, because oh my god, they're freaking beautiful. Like, if you only saw the visual parts of this movie, like the scenes in space, you'd think, wow. And not even scenes in space. Even though a lot of the stuff in the movie is very clunky, everything looks amazing because all the shots are great. I liked how Christopher Nolan did all the different frame rates because I saw this in 70mm IMAX down at the Lockheed Martin in DC, and I thought it was. I mean, it was a little weird how it kept switching frame rates, but it was obvious Nolan just was being ambitious and he wanted to use a lot of different filming methods. And the shots all look great, the locations are great, and the space. Even though gravity is great, the space here it looks kind of what space really is. It wasn't like shiny and nice. It was very gritty out there in space, and all the effects look wonderful. And then going through the wormhole, that's like mind blowing. And then there's a scene in the end, even though the reveal's really dumb, the effects are great. I was like, whoa, I feel like I'm there. Um, but honestly, I just think that the effects are not enough to save this movie. I just think from a guy who really can make a lot of good movies, I was really surprised by how many flaws this movie has. Not just like, okay, let me say, I'm a lot of the time when you see like a movie that's a big budget movie, you notice these plot holes and you just say, "Oh, you're nitpicking." But my god, there are so many plot holes in here. There are probably close to 20 plot holes that could have been solved too. Like, and also, here's the one thing another thing that killed me about this movie. There's a really good movie in here. Like, the idea of us going to space to save the world and like find a new planet. That's really. I mean, we've done that already, but there's stuff to be done, and they go to this universe where there's like three. They go through this wormhole where there's like three different planets and like universes or something that they can explore. That's really cool. I like that. But then the first one they go to be 7 years every hour they're there. Someone messes up, like Anne Hathaway or something. They're there for 23 years. Then they just go to this ice planet. Here's another problem with the movie. All the people are just unlikable assholes, like unrealistically so. Like Matt Damon, you find out there's this twist with him, which is ridiculous. And Michael Caine, like apparently there's just another big twist. There's a lot of stupid twists in this movie. This whole big twist about the jeopardy of the actual mission. And there are these like really, really assholish things, and they're pretty like evil things that they're doing, and you're supposed to like these people, and these are supposed to be like the best, smartest, most competent people in the world, and they just suck. And I was just kind of laughing. I'm like, really? These are the people that are part of the space exploration as the world is dying? I guess I'm not excited for like 10 years from now, where Matt Damon is for some reason. And then they just have these. They spend a lot of time there on nothing. Like, it's all very obvious. Like people who we've been away from Earth for so long, and we're human, so we have problems too. Like, we're flawed people, and that was really annoying. Like, it was really obvious. I knew what he was trying to do. He was trying to do the emotional, but I just felt like, as someone who wants to make films, because I want to make films when I grow up, I respect that someone, if they have a vision, they want to keep it, they want to protect that, they want to make what they thought of. But I almost wish the studios had kind of keeping an eye more on Nolan here, because he takes a concept that's kind of interesting and he kind of throws it in all different areas.